How many of you hope to own a home someday? Have you considered how much maintenance goes into owning a home? So, lawn care can be one of the most basic forms of home maintenance, but it can definitely make your home look a lot more beautiful. Today, I'll inform you about different lawn care practices for maintaining a healthy lawn. I chose to talk about this topic today because I am a former lawn care professional, and I actually have a degree in horticulture. And I noticed in my days of working in the field that there are a lot of young adults who don't know about lawn care. And it is important to add to the curb appeal of your home. So I'll discuss things such as mowing, which is the most basic form of lawn care. We'll get into fertilizer treatments a little bit. And then lastly, we'll compare lawn care to a sports turf maintenance schedule. But going ahead and get right into it here. At its core, lawn care is simple. Okay, so mowing is the most well-known form of lawn care. Okay, it's simple. Everybody mows their lawn, right? Or you pay to have it done. Basically, we follow the 1/3 rule. Okay, so don't mow less than 3 inches, but you should take off about a third of the existing blade. No more, because if you take off more, you'll probably stress your plant out. But if you're mowing every 7 to 10 days, which is what's recommended and what is the standard, you won't run into that issue at all. Mulching your grass blades is important. If you mulch them instead of bag them, mulching basically means you put them right back into the ground. You'll release some natural nitrogen, which will essentially eliminate one fertilizer application that you would have to do throughout the year. Moving forward, there's some deeper ways to get into lawn care, such as fertilization. Okay, fertilizing is common practice. There's a ton of companies that take care of fertilizing and weed control. Nitrogen pushes growth. It gives you that nice rich green color. There is certain rates to use, so that way you can not overwork your grass. And they also work in not phosphorus anymore, but potassium to assist your root growth. As far as weeds go, one, it just doesn't look uniform, right? They're not aesthetic. But on top of that, if you get some annual weeds when they die, the following year, they're going to leave bare soil. The more and more you let that go, the more bare soil you'll see from those annual weeds. Okay, which allows insects to come in or other diseases to come along. Soil compaction is a big deal. If you aerate your soil, you're taking care of your soil the best way you can that way. Aerate once, tops twice a year, but once a year is recommended. If you rototill, you're actually going to destroy your soil structure, which, believe it or not, is not good, because your soil needs to have good structure in order to hold itself together to be able to hold water for the plant to grow. If you destroy that, you won't have that. Another interesting fact, actually, if you chop your leaves up and you put it back into your lawn, you're adding a lot of organic matter. Okay, and organic matter helps that turf to grow. Organic matter helps your soil to become filled with more natural nutrients and different minerals and such that it can soak up, that you would never think of. But keeping that soil healthy, I can't stress how important that is. You can let your grass go dormant in the summer. Some people do. The only issue with that is you need to be careful that you're not going to kill the roots. Okay, and if you have water, those roots can grow. Okay, if you're not watering, those roots can wither up and die. Okay, it's recommended that you water about an inch a week. All right. Like I said, we'll look at that sports turf maintenance schedule. So I told you earlier in the speech that mowing every 7 to 10 days is pretty standard. For a football field, they're mowing 3 times a week. Okay, and they're cutting at 1¼ inches. But their watering schedule is way different. Their fertilizer schedule is way different. They're aerating 5 times a year. Okay, every time somebody walks on that field, after a football game's done, they're going out there with screwdrivers and fixing divots. Okay, so the typical residential lawn care situation is a lot more low maintenance and hands off than that. They're frequently overseeding, which is throwing fresh seed on to try and produce more grass. We don't typically do that unless we have a severe issue on a residential lawn. And their main focus is safety and consistency. Our main focus is aesthetics and uniformity. So they make sure that they have that rich green color just like we do, but they also want to look good so it looks good on TV. Alright, so as you can see, there's a lot of detail that goes into maintaining a healthy lawn, and I could have gone on for a long time, but at a bare minimum, mowing at the correct height is huge. If you mow at the correct height, 90% of your problems are gone. If you want to get more in depth, fertilize, chop your leaves up, add some organic matter, take care of your soil. Definitely take care of your soil. And if you think you have a lot of work in your lawn, imagine mowing 3, 4, 5 times a week just for a football field. You know, a homeowner having a lawn to maintain is pretty much inevitable. If you own a home, you're going to have to take care of something because the city will be after you, your neighbors will be, or you'll just have that tick in your brain that says you should. So hopefully I've increased your knowledge a little bit, so that way when you walk out there on your own home, you can take care of that yourself.